last night's NCAA Championship game with Villanova and UNC was probably the greatest basketball game I've ever seen. It had everything you wanted. It had entertainment. They had people actually like scoring and stuff. They had defense. You know, you don't see that in any of the NBA. And you know, the crowd was going nuts every single time they made a basket. You know, it was great. It was a great game to watch, and it all ended in probably one of the greatest endings to any basketball game, or a high-profile basketball game I've ever seen. It had a buzzer beater with Villanova. It was nuts. I went nuts when that happened. And I cannot say the same for WrestleMania 32. Comparing these two together, the only comparison I can make with these two shows was that they were in Texas and they both had a big crowd. That does not mean that both crowds were lively, because at times WrestleMania 32 fucking sucked with the crowd. You could hear a pin drop in an arena, in a stadium of 85,000+ people. That's how bad it was. The only time the crowd ever went super quiet was probably when like a foul happened or something. I don't know. I'll tell you this much. When you compare these two side by side together, there really is no comparison, in my opinion. This game, the NCAA Championship game, was entertaining. I said it was entertaining. It had a very great finish off to the game. You know, I went nuts. I wanted UNC to win. I stated earlier yesterday. I wanted UNC to win, but when Nova hit that three-pointer for the win, I couldn't believe my eyes. I was happy for them. I really was. It was a very great win. So, I just, you know, in WrestleMania 32, it frustrated me a little bit watching it, because the only great match I saw was like, I would say it was probably the women's match, the triple threat for that women's championship, that new women's championship they have. That I don't like the look of it at all. I don't think it should look anything like the WWE Championship, but you know, it lacks creativity, in my opinion, and that's the one strike I have against it. It's a decent thing that they made the women's championship, that they got a women's championship back instead of a Divas title, saying it's a Divas title, but you know, this could have been a huge improvement, just kind of dumbed it down a little bit in my eyes. So, but that's besides the point. What I'm trying to say is, the women's match, the triple threat women's match at the show, was definitely more entertaining than a lot of the stuff that this show even had. Really, it was. 85,000+ people, I would assume, and I'm in the loss for words. I don't understand how they could fuck up this bad on WrestleMania. No, it's just ridiculous. And we all knew what the finish was going to be, but Jesus Christ, man, at least make it add a little something to it, so the ending of the show doesn't suck. I mean, Jesus. I mean, what more could we fans want? I mean, we don't ask. We may ask for a lot, but Jesus, you could have. The main event could have been so much better. I mean, the ending to the main event could have been so much better. Now, I didn't see Raw last night, so I don't know what's gonna happen with what's his face? I didn't know what happened with Roman Reigns, because I was watching the game, because I actually cared about watching the game more than I cared about watching Raw, even if it was the Raw after WrestleMania. And quite frankly, I think I made the right decision. So, but all I can say is this, guys. All I can say is this. That may have been one of the greatest basketball games I've ever seen in my life. And WrestleMania 32 probably goes down as one of the worst WrestleManias I've ever seen. It's not as bad as WrestleMania 29 was, but it's definitely a spot up. It's definitely down there. It's fucking shameful. I was ashamed to be a wrestling fan. But as a March Madness tournament fan, I was pleased with the outcome of that game and how that game went. I've also never seen so many three-pointers in one game. I mean, these guys are doing three-pointers left and right, and the crowd was going nuts. Hell, I think if they weren't shooting so many three-pointers, the score probably wouldn't have gotten past maybe 60, maybe 50, 60. Jesus, and for a second I thought they were going to go to overtime. See, that's an unpredictable finish to any sport. It's the one thing that bugs me about wrestling. It's so predictable, and you know what's going to happen, and then they don't try to change it up to prevent you. They don't try to change it up to be like, oh, you thought you knew what was going to happen. Now, they did do that with a couple of matches, but they didn't make the right decision by doing it. So, I don't know. You know, I was before class yesterday. I was watching JD from NY, his review on WrestleMania 32, and you know, he said it goes down as one of the worst in history. I can't help but agree with him, and that's not sucking dick or anything. I literally believe, watching that entire show, that I can't find much. I can rewatch the entire show and I still wouldn't be able to find much good in it. Some of the matches I was looking forward to, they ended up being a huge letdown, and I was kind of ashamed. I was looking forward to the Hell in a Cell match and the street fight. The street fight sucked. I thought the street fight was going to be a hell of a lot better than what that was. And the Hell in a Cell match was kind of boring in the beginning, but it picked up at the end. You know, Shane McMahon jumping off the cell. I was scared shitless when that happened. That that's another plus on WWE's side. But anyway, that's my thoughts on the NCAA Championship game and WrestleMania 32. There is no comparison between the two, in my opinion. So with that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out.